Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our ALS United Mid-Atlantic Goals podcast. My name is Tony Heil here with ALS United Mid-Atlantic. And if you've listened to our past episodes, you know that we've talked with people about a wide variety of perspectives when it comes to ALS. That includes people living with ALS. It includes researchers, caregivers, staff here at ALS United Mid-Atlantic, like our social workers and nurses, and even people who are beyond ALS, like with Parkinson's and Huntington's disease, because we're united in our mission to fund research and support science towards better cures and treatments. I'm really excited today to talk to one of my new friends. His name is Vincent Cella. He is from Sewell, New Jersey, and he is a veteran living with ALS. If you know my personal story, I started here in 2011 because my grandfather was a veteran who passed away from ALS, and military veterans are twice as likely to be diagnosed with ALS as the general population. Vince is going to share his story and hopefully encourage you to be motivated to be part of our ALS mission, which you can join at www.alsmidatlantic.org. Vince, thanks so much for talking today.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me aboard. I appreciate it.
I don't know what I like more, your shirt or your hair.
Ah, it's like looking in a mirror, I tell you.
So I know that you are a smart and experienced man, but you have been recently diagnosed with ALS, right? When was
Yeah.
your diagnosis?
I was diagnosed 16 August of 2024, so just a little bit over a year now that I found out. And I guess to make it like a long story short, every testing, because I've been dealing with this for quite a few years, trying to figure out what was going on with me health wise. So my very last neurologist I had actually had to be fired because I was getting no answers. I turned everything over to the VA, and my new neurologist, hopefully that my final neurologist, he kind of knew what I had, but he didn't specifically tell myself and my wife. So he hooked me up with a ALS specialist from UPenn, Dr. Colin Quinn, which I believe you know who that is.
Yeah, very much.
And within a half a year, he actually going over all my paperwork that I had turned over from the outside to him. He already knew that I had ALS before I even did my last EMG, which I'm still waiting to do another one. So it's been a change. It was a gut punch, definitely. I always knew something was wrong, but I didn't know it was this bad. And things have definitely changed for me. I mean, to be in a wheelchair now, pretty much 85% of the time, it's a little tough. You know, my walking's declined, my hand usage has declined, and they even tried to get me to use the handrails to be able to drive, but I don't trust myself because of my hand usage. I constantly drop things, so things are definitely a challenge. So whatever was easy is definitely something that it's a change to my life's on how to accept this and to actually live with this disease, um, because when you're not able to walk and the simplest things are taken away from you, boy, it's tough. But I'm not letting this stop me at all, and I'm taking this challenge on, face on. I have great support from ALS United as well. I have some great family and friends who are there with even just moral support is fine with me. I don't need nothing just to say, "Hey, Ben, how you doing?" I'm okay with. As long as I know that there's something out there and who I can talk to. But when it comes to trying to do things, I mean, there's things I miss. There's absolute things I miss. And well, you gonna say anything to him? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm just nodding along. I appreciate what you're saying. I imagine you probably didn't have a lot of experience with ALS before this diagnosis or before you're figured out some of these symptoms.
Never had any idea until this all happened. And then my wife, she's a what's the word I'm looking for? She digs into, she can find anything. And the more she dug and found out about this between possibly being a genetic type thing or with the military, We still don't know.
Mhm.
Um, but she went in and she did a lot of homework to find out exactly what was what and to get to the point where, I am now. So, um, but back to, I guess, trying to do things, there's things I miss. We used to hike between 5 and 10 miles at a clip every weekend. For me to try to do 1 mile, even with a cane, forget it. It's impossible. It's just, it's very frustrating. I try not to let this stop me. Even if I'm doing work outside the house, I'm very limited what I can do. Even though I'm in a townhome, I still try to push myself. But then there's times where I'm like, maybe I'm pushing myself a little too hard because I do fall a lot and trip a lot. So
Mhm.
I'm back in a chair. You know, the VA's done wonderful things for me. I have the first thing I got was a stair glide because I used to crawl up the stairs to get to the third floor to get to my bedroom. So I was a little hesitant about getting that because in my head I'm thinking, oh my God, my house is going to look like a hospital now, which it kind of does to a point with the stair rail, with the hand glides. I'm getting shower work done. I have three. I have a power cart. I have a regular cart. It's a little too much for me. I kind of accepted it now because it does help me. So I don't know how many, is this going to get worse for me? I don't know. I try not to think about that.
Mhm.
I just know that I'm going to do what I can until I honestly possibly cannot. I am not going to stop trying to do anything. And whether it's, hiking, fishing, I mean, they'd have to tether me to the boat because I have no balance. I can't stand on the rail and try to fish anymore, bottom fish or anything like that. So I know there's things that I can do, and there's places where I can go to possibly do those types of things. And I'm going to try it eventually here. It's still taking me a while to suck it up and say, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm learning day by day, piece by piece. I'm gonna do it somehow. Like I was telling you earlier, I cruised a lot, and I'm
Mhm.
filming that, and I want to show what it's like being disabled, whether ALS or not, a disability, on how you can still do things in a way that I think you can to actually still like you're a part of this world and do stuff, as a person. I honestly believe that. And I've seen many people with disabilities on cruises before, and they're doing it. So I know it can be done. So there's
You know,
no
I was
guy.
just gonna say we just recorded and posted a podcast video with a woman named Michelle Yelland. She was
Yep.
diagnosed with ALS around the same time you were, and she's been traveling a lot. And we went to
Good.
Ireland, and
So did
she
I.
talked about,
Yeah.
you guys could be best friends. So,
Yes.
and she was talking about how important it was to live her best life and to
You have to.
uh, do what you can. I think that that's something that ALS does is put a lot of life into perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to, because I'm not the person who's never to sit around. Even
Mhm.
before all this, I found out I am not that person. I was always on the move doing something. And for me to sit and just watch TV or something, it's tough. I can't do it. I have to try. I have to do something. Right now, what's keeping me busy, I do a lot of with sports cards. I have yeah, that keeps me going. So I'm doing
So,
pretty
what are your
good.
favorite sports cards?
Right now, I'm sitting here with about 500 baseball cards right now, and right now I'm more of a player person. I mean, I grew up with the Yankees, but that's said and long gone. But right now, I have a thing of baseball players here, but probably my two favorite baseball players right now, maybe three, are Otani, Bryce Harper, and Judge that I deal
Mhm.
with a lot. So yeah, it keeps me going. So it keeps my mind going. Because you have to have something.
Yeah,
Everybody who has any kind of disability has to have something to keep them motivated, to keep their brain working. And this right now is doing well for me. So
that's awesome. Now,
yeah,
I think it's really important talking to you as a veteran who's living with ALS. Like we said at the start, veterans are more likely to be diagnosed with ALS. Tell us about your service and what people should know about it.
Well, I've been in the service for 22 years. I went from 18 July of 89 to 2011 in November. I spent the first 8.5 years active duty on aircraft carrier, which I was in the Persian Gulf, the first Gulf War.
Wow.
Uh, Now I'm at a lot of contact with I'm so many things that could relate to maybe possibly having ALS with the aircraft we were dealing with, flying through the oil fields, coming back to the aircraft. I actually worked in the catapults with I launched the aircraft. So we were constantly touching the aircraft. There's all kinds of chemicals that we used and we worked with. So is it a combination of stuff? Is it a combination plus medical like shots and stuff we got? I have no idea. You know, I unfortunately I have a couple of friends, but they're clear. They don't
Hmm.
know anyone themselves that from the Persian Gulf that have ALS. So am I just something rare? Who I have no idea. So but yeah, I did my first few years and then I jumped into the army. And after my first 8 years of active, jumped in the army for 4 years. I was equipment operator, and then I was in the infantry. And then they wanted to make me a mineman. I was like, no, I don't feel like running around the desert looking for IEDs. So I went back to the Navy. I finished up the Navy Reserves, and that's what happened was I wanted to be back in with the catapults again, but for some reason the rate was closed. So I said, "Well, what do you have open that still has air? You know, I can deal with aircraft." And they're like, "Well, we have fuelers," so that was that. And then I ended up being stationed in Iceland for 7 years. So I
Wow.
was fueling British aircraft, German aircraft, us. So yeah, it was a good career. I couldn't complain. And then, well, how many years later? Then I found out I have this.
Hmm.
So, uh, would I do it all over again? Of course I would. Absolutely. And just it happened. Well, there's nothing I can do except just take it day by day and keep doing what I'm doing and just try to live the best life I can.
I
And
think
yeah,
it's really nice to have a life to be proud of. Not that other people don't, but when you can look back at a career like that and know you're serving your country and your fellow servicemen and other communities,
yes.
that you're doing something to help others, no matter what you do the rest of your life, even beyond ALS, you have a life and career that you can always be proud of what you've done.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, my boys, I have two boys, and my oldest is in Oregon. He lives out there with his girlfriend and horses. They have a horse farm. And my youngest lives in Colorado. Neither one of them wanted to be in the military. So I said, you guys do what you got to do. But they packed up bags after high school and moved on. They moved west. And they're happy doing what they do. I was never going to force them to join the military. But I told them, if you're going to do it, especially my youngest son, Dominic, I said, if you're going to do it, you got to do this before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? There's a time frame, and he never did. But it's okay. Like I said, I love what the boys have done with their lives, and I'm happy with that, and that's okay. So, excuse me.
Now, one thing that really shone from what you said already about the process of your diagnosis was the
Yeah.
support of your wife and how your wife went into
Yes.
searching things and everything. What's that? How important has that relationship been with your wife as these symptoms have progressed and you've moved forward with ALS?
It's been a change for her, of course, for myself. But for me, I get kind of angry at it because
Hmm.
it's simple things that now I have to depend on her to do. And to me, I'm like, I want to do it. There's no reason for you to do it. And that does frustrate me quite a bit. And she's handling it the best she can. Uh, she's getting help herself. We both are, because it's just when something like this traumatic happens, and back to that title, I guess, of oh, what should I say? What was easy is now hard. When she has to fall under that, it drives me a little bit crazy now that she has to do it. But she's doing the best she can. She is there all the time. And if it wasn't for her doing the background history that she does to find out about all this together, I tell you, I would be lost. I wouldn't know what to do without her.
I think that you see those examples of love and relationships when you're here. I was actually talking with Elisa Brownlee on our staff here this week about how many people have reconnected over ALS, even exes who were together and then they ended up supporting each other when one was diagnosed. And you know how important those relationships are
Of course.
when you don't know what's going on with this disease.
No, no, you really don't. And it's so many of us are different. I was at the Longwood Gardens
Hmm.
with everybody, and one guy was sitting at the table, very similar things to us on how we started. I'm like, well, how did you find out? And he's like, well, I started with arm pain. Well, I started mine with my ankle. My right ankle dropped, and I thought it was nothing. And
Hmm.
even after I was diagnosed, my specialist told me that that is not, you've been basically, well, more or less not told the truth for years now, because they blame everything on me as it was for diabetes. I've been told that for years, for issues with my drop ankle and other things. Uh, so to finally, I guess, know what I do have kind of eases things a little bit. Now I kind of okay know, and I know what I have now. But now, like when I get certain things, then I get a shoulder pain or arm pain. Is that because of this, or is that something else? So it's a little confusing at times. So
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, my wife, uh bless her. I mean, she's put up with me for a lot of years, and for her to stick by my side, wow, I'm the luckiest fool in the world. I really am.
You know, I really appreciate that, and I think it says so much to me as a spouse about what I need to live up to, taking care of my wife and my wife looking out for me as we get older, just in life in general, looking out for each other. And as a member of the military, that it's not an individual sport. Being in the service means
No,
you're serving your fellow
no,
service member. And now you go to see Dr. Quinn, but you don't just see him, you see a whole team that
I see
includes
a whole
our
team.
staff from ALS United Mid Atlantic. How important is
Yes.
that team approach to caring for ALS?
Well, the work that I believe you guys are doing, I mean, it has to be done. There's
Mhm.
got to be somewhere, somehow, there's got to be a cure for this. Are we close? Are we not close? I don't know. But being around everyone and being approached by the staff and people that are involved with this program is amazing, because I know uh, there is someone to talk to. And you mentioned Elise. I love her. She's amazing. And did I say her name right? Elisa.
Lisa,
Elisa, yeah, she's wonderful. But if everyone was like her in this program and like yourself as I'm talking to you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with ALS United. No, not at all.
and I know that hearing that's going to mean a lot to our staff who have so many years of commitment to this. It means so much to get the feedback. Now, you've been to Longwood Gardens and our event there for patients and families. You've been to our Lou Gehrig Day with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yes.
What's it like connecting with the wider ALS community and meeting others who are impacted by this disease?
You know, when I pulled up to the stadium, which we seem to be there every other weekend,
Good.
we're always there. But to see all the people with different phases of ALS and how many of us there are, it really was, I tell you, it affected me quite a bit to see, like, you think yourself, oh, I'm only a small group. Huh, there's not a small group. I can't believe there was that many people. And I can't believe I was even invited because I did something like at the last minute, and I got the call from her, and basically, yeah, I was invited. I was like, wow, that was a blessing itself. But to see everyone else, and again, back to how everyone else is different, this disease is, for lack of better words, is crazy, ridiculous. I just I don't understand it. How myself and the guy that Longwood Gardens can be on the kind of the same page and still somewhat active. Now I haven't driven in over a year and a half. It's almost 2 years now. Well, I'll just say since October or August of 24. That's when I stopped driving. And for him to stop driving, but some people can, I believe. But then I look at other people and go, wow, dude, this is what I have to look forward to. I mean, is this really going to happen? And the very first meeting that I had with you, there was a woman. I, oh my gosh, I can't forget her name. She had to be in her late 70s, and she had the most beautiful outlook on life, even on the condition she is in. And God forget, I wish I could remember her name, but she can still speak. Of course, she's wheelchair bound. I'm assuming she's there all the time. And but the outlook she had, she was actually the first person. She sat actually next to us at the table. Um, oh Lord, I can't remember her name. I wish I did, but she actually looking at her, I think it kind of gave me a little bit of, okay, I could do this. If this woman is at this age and the way she talks and the way she laughs about everything, this is going to be okay. This is not
Yeah,
going to be bad.
you learn a lot from the others who you get to meet here, and
Oh,
I think
you
it's
absolutely
important.
do.
Yeah.
Absolutely do.
And so you were we met at the ALS Awareness Day with the Phillies, the Lou Gehrig Day this past June,
Yes.
and what's it mean to you to see the Phillies and how they take this to heart? It's not just like they put something on the screen and that's it, but you can tell
No,
when you walk in there
no,
that this is really part of who they are and their character.
they absolutely are. And I mean, to be involved in that itself, uh, was, like I said, it was just a blessing to be. I got to meet other people with ALS. I got to meet actually Coach Thompson was the first person to come up to me and actually give me a hug and stuff.
Mm.
So I know it's for real. It's not fake. These guys are for real when it comes to ALS. Of course, how many years ago when Lou Gehrig was diagnosed with ALS, what did we know about it then? I don't even know the history of how he found out or how they even said it was ALS. What doctor or person, said, hey, this is what Lou Gehrig has. This is now Lou Gehrig's disease. I have to do the history on that because I don't know that. I wish I did right now.
Yeah, and it's been so it was 35 years. No, 45 years from when Lou Gehrig's speech until when the Phillies started being involved. And it's been almost that long since the Phillies have been involved in ALS. So that's amazing, that commitment. And you can tell how they treat people, even
Yes,
other people with
absolutely.
disabilities. I think it comes to heart their experience with the ALS community.
Yeah. It's and the people, the fans too, of course, wearing this shirt and getting around the stadium, the people were just as good, you know, and just to get that feedback from people, it was good. It was a good feeling. It was a good feeling, you know.
And I want to talk about another good feeling that you are about to
Yeah.
embark on that you told me about. That's very cool. You are going on a major cruise,
Yes.
and you already mentioned it. You're going to promise to send me pictures and details so we can share it too, right?
Yes, yes.
So tell me about this cruise.
I'm gonna post what I can. We're gonna start in October, actually, day after my birthday, October 30th, and we're gonna be leaving out of Manhattan on the Carnival Venezia. It's a 50-day cruise, but it's on four other ships. So we start in New York and we end up in Tampa, Florida, and then from Tampa we come back, and then beginning of January 26th, we start all over again. We actually have another thing promised that we're going to be doing.
Wow.
So I am, like I said in the very beginning, nobody should let them stop them from trying anything. And I'm going to videotape it and prove it that it can be done. Now, there's a lot of things, of course, I can't do anymore. It's a wheelchair. I'm basically a watcher. There's things I can't go down a slide anymore. I can't go up that hill anymore. You know what? But it's still, I'm getting out, I'm getting around the ships, I'm meeting other people. It's a good thing. And I want to prove that it can be done, even without having ALS. It doesn't matter what your disability is, you can still get out there. And I said that earlier. There are people out there already doing it, and I know it can be done. So I'm going to push it a little more to show that, yes, it can be done.
Well, I really appreciate that. One other thing I really want to talk to you before we finish this podcast recording.
Sure.
As a veteran with ALS, you
Yeah.
may know that the federal government has invested millions of dollars over the years for ALS research.
Yeah.
There's the ALS research project at the Department of Defense, including other kind of research like through the NIH. As someone living with ALS, what is your message for why we need to continue funding ALS research?
There has to be there has to be a light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that this can be stopped. Because especially when it's a disease that comes out of nowhere and can sneak up on you like it did for myself, because like I said, I was dealing with this for years of trying to figure out what was physically wrong with me. Why am I getting this pain? Why my leg drag and that type of stuff? There's got to be continued work on this to help all of us that are dealing with this, whether it's ALS, MS, it goes on. There has to be some kind of work done all the time, and the support, the money support, whatever it has to be to help us all out, it has to be done. I just, I didn't want this. Nobody wants it, but it's. I've come to the point where I've accepted it now, but I'm gonna take that challenge on, and again, until I cannot possibly physically do it, I am not gonna stop.
Well,
So
I appreciate that, Vince. And I think that anyone listening or watching you right now should see that if Vince is willing to do anything he can, and he's not going to
that's
stop, but we need to continue and match that energy. I encourage all
so
of you who are listening to match that enthusiasm. Let's do what we can. We can't stop until we have an end to this disease, better treatments. Join us at www.alsmidatlantic.org, where you can donate, advocate, or volunteer. Vince, I really appreciate you sharing your story, and I can't wait to see the pictures because it's gonna be really cool to see your
you,
experience.
you're gonna love it. It's gonna be awesome. If I do it right, it's gonna be a good thing.
And before I go, I just want to mention that Vince is a veteran with ALS from Sewell, New Jersey. It makes me think of my other friend, Frank Gabrielli, who is a veteran with ALS from Sewell, New Jersey. Here at ALS United Mid-Atlantic, when you say a first name, people are going to remember the people we care for by their first name because it means so much to all of us personally. Vince means a lot to us, and we're going to keep advocating on your behalf and do all we can, Vince.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please
Okay.
subscribe, leave a comment, and share this podcast with others to raise awareness for the ALS cause. And we're going to continue our work at alsmidatlantic.org. Thank you so much, Vince.
All right. Take care. Thank you.